Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to show you how to connect Claude with LinkedIn Recruiter to automate your sourcing. Today, every recruiter is trying to automate as many tedious tasks as possible. In recruiting, sourcing is probably one of the best examples. The problem is that LinkedIn Recruiter remains the main talent pool for many teams, but it's not so easy to connect directly LinkedIn Recruiter to Claude. So in this video, we'll look at how the most obvious method is not necessarily the right one, and then how Leonar can act as a bridge between LinkedIn and Claude Recruiter with a cleaner approach. The context is that we do not want to automate for the sake of the automation. What we really want is to remove repetitive tasks that take time and do not add much value when they are done manually. Typically, setting up filters, searching for profiles, comparing resumes or work experience. Claude is very good at reasoning through this kind of tasks. It can analyze, rephrase, rank, and explain why a profile is relevant or not. But there is a very practical blocker. Claude cannot connect directly to LinkedIn Recruiter through a simple API. And that is where many automation workflows break. You have the intelligence of Claude on the side, and then you have the talent pool of LinkedIn Recruiter on the other side, but there is no clean connection between the two. The first idea, and probably the most common one, is to connect Claude with the browser. Basically, Claude watches the screen, clicks, reads profiles, and tries to behave like a human user. The advantage is obvious. It's pretty easy to understand and fairly simple to test. In a few clicks, you can launch a demo and watch Claude navigate an interface. But for serious sourcing, it breaks quickly. First, it consumes a lot of tokens, because Claude has to reread the screen, the pages, the profiles, and sometimes several times. And then it's fragile. A pop-up, slow loading page, or UI change can break the workflow. And finally, it's not scalable. For a few profiles, maybe. But to build a real shortlist or to run a sourcing search at volume, it's not the right model. So yes, connecting Claude with the browser is simple, but if the goal is truly to automate sourcing, it's not the cleanest method. The cleaner approach is not to ask Claude to drive the screen. Instead, you give it access to a structured tool. That is where Leonar comes in. Leonar connects to LinkedIn Recruiter and lets you source inside the connected talent pool. And because Leonar has an MCP, Claude can call Leonar action directly from its own environment. In practice, Claude is not reading a LinkedIn page pixel by pixel. It receives a natural language request, uses the action available through the Leonar MCP, and Leonar runs the search in the talent pool connected to LinkedIn Recruiter. The result is that you can indirectly source in LinkedIn Recruiter with Claude, but with a structured layer in the middle. It's more reliable, clearer, and much better suited to real sourcing work. What we'll see now. The goal is to show you the full workflow step by step. First, we log into Leonar. Then, we connect the LinkedIn Recruiter account to Leonar so it can source the right talent pool. Third, we connect the Leonar MCP to Claude so Leonar action become available inside Claude. And finally, we launch a first sourcing run with a simple prompt. From here, I will show exactly how to configure everything, and then we will look at an example request you can give Claude to get a first shortlist of candidates. First, you will have to go through leonar.app. For anyone who wants to try it, there's a 1-week free trial. You start by logging in. So here I'm connected to my Leonar account. Here I'm on the dashboards. We're going to look at the integration with LinkedIn Recruiter. So first, you're going to go in the settings, integration, and here you're going to connect with LinkedIn Recruiter. Here I'm already connected, so we can jump to the next step. The next step would be to connect Claude with Leonar's MCP. For that, you go in the API section, you click on View Documentation, scroll down to MCP Server, and then you have to copy this. Then open Claude. Here you click on Settings, Connectors, add a new one, a personalized one. You name it, and you paste what you copied on the other page. You'll be asked then to connect with Leonar, so you just click there. You accept. And then you're done. You're connected to Leonar. So now that Claude and Leonar are connected, I can directly ask Claude to launch a sourcing directly in the text box. That's what I will do now. Start a new project, call it account executive, launch a sourcing. I want an account executive based in Paris, add 10 candidates to the project. So this is a pretty basic question. So this is a pretty basic order just to prove a point, but of course you can add more details to your requests. Maybe I'm gonna try Opus. So it took a few minutes, but now we're back and we can see that here Claude executed the tasks. And if I go back to Leonar, I can see a new project created. And if I click there, I see that there's 10 people added to the project. They're all account executive based in Paris. So yeah, that was a pretty simple task, but you can ask so many different filters. And this is just the beginning. This is the first video that I'm going to do on the topic, but later we'll see how to reach out with this candidate, how to answer this message. So stay tuned for the next video, and see you soon. Bye.